Greetings, my fellow hunters, and today I'm not going to be doing a review, but I will be doing a first impressions on the latest anime, Dragon Quest: The Adventures of Dai. I thought, while doing big reviews in between, I thought I'd do smaller first impressions just to keep up the padding and to ensure that I've got content coming at least twice a week now. It'll be a daunting task, but I didn't get anywhere from not trying. Besides, who knows, I might actually get some things done for once. So, let's begin the hunt, my hunters. The story of Dragon Quest The Adventures of Dai is a very basic. Long ago in the world's past, there used to be a demon king that threatened the world's peace and security. But until one day, four heroes vanquished the demon lord, returning peace to the kingdom. And basically, it also pacified all the monsters, making them all friendly to humans and just wish to live alone on a different island, per se, where the stories takes place or beginning. So basically, a kid washed up onto the island, well, a baby, and that child is named Dai, who was raised by monsters and sees them as both friend and family. And basically, soon trouble happens, and then monsters started going nuts until certain things happen, and now it's down to Dai to save the world, along with his friends, to vanquish the Demon King and return peace once again. And that's it. I can predict the story, even though it's only so many episodes early in its life. I kind of can predict it. It's gonna be ending the time when Dai is gonna face the Demon King and be victorious. Along the way, get some friends and family, and whatever. A basic story, but I think it's got me won over because it's one, not an isekai. Two, I needed something like this after a long time. And three, it's fine. It's not gonna be world shattering, but at the same time, after certain stories, I'm kinda glad it's not complicated. And thankfully, it's not an isekai like I said. But hey, what's a story without characters? And I have some things to say about them. As the time of the recording of this video, there have been 4 characters that have been introduced that are significantly worth talking about. Dai, his grandfather, Pop, and Avon. They are basically, for now, the characters that I'll be talking about. And as the episodes continue, I'd imagine new characters will be introduced, but as of recording of this first impressions, I'll be talking about those 4, starting off with Dai. Well, Dai, like I said, well, it's difficult to say because he is a naive but kind-hearted character, so he's this stock shonen protagonist. He's naive, but kind, cares about his friends, hates evildoers, and just fights because it's the right thing to do. I'd say more, but I think I've summarized his whole personality in this one description, and frankly, the mystery comes from his mysterious origins because he has no recollection of who his parents was or where he came from. So I think the little strength of Dai is that he's mysterious. Kind of like Goku, if you ask me. In fact, thinking about it, you could replace each of these characters with characters from Dragon Ball, and I think they'd be fitting perfectly fine. But hey, who do I know? We have his grandfather to talk about. Oh. Dai's grandfather is basically a kind, caring, old monster who just wants Dai to learn hard and become the best wizard possible, even though Dai doesn't want to become a wizard and is more the hinds of a warrior or a hero. Well, probably the hero class. But nonetheless, he does try to teach Dai how to use magic, and on rare occasion he does use it, but only in desperate situations. Again, there's nothing much to his personality. He does care much about Dai and the monsters around him, but overall his character is just a fairly one-note character. Pop is a difficult character for me to describe because we have yet to see much of his personality, but as far as I can tell, he's a very kind person, as well like Dai, and seems to be very clever with how to use magic. Well, it'd be odd if he wasn't smart and uses magic, because magic is always correlated with intelligence, so you expect him to be somewhat smarter than Dai, and frankly, that's it. I don't know much of his personality, as I've only seen him briefly interact with other characters, and it's hard to gauge it from that. But his master is a bit more interesting. The final character we'll be talking about is Avon, the teacher to both Pop and currently Dai, as he is training Dai to become a better swordsman. The thing I can basically say about him that he's a wise teacher. He is also very smart, and that Dai is a lot stronger than he lets on, and that Dai has a lot of potential to him. And basically that's it. I don't know. He's smart and very clever. Well, 2 and 1 are the same thing. And he knows how to fight in certain situations. And that's it. I did say he was a bit more interesting, but not more interesting than Pop. But that's all I can say about them, really. As for my final thoughts on the characters, sadly, they are very, very one note characters. They have personalities that I just basically described simply. There's no nuance to them, there's no interesting thing behind them. Yeah, there's interesting behind Dai and what his origins are, but they don't bring it up, and the only time it was mentioned was the big opening of the anime. So it's a little bit disheartening to think that these characters are just simply one notes, but I don't think they're bad. Heavens forbid, no! They're better than Kirito or any other isekai character because they actually have to learn, grow, train, and adapt. Unlike isekai characters that just basically have overpowered weapons from the beginning, it's nice to see a refreshing take on the whole basically working to build up your strength to become the best you can best through hard work and determination. So for that reason alone, I'm giving the characters at least a solid B+, because at least it's far more interesting than the bunch of isekais I've dealt with over the years. But hey, at least I can say something about the music next. A quick update, as several new things have been introduced. First off, there was actually a bigger bad, the Dark King, as he resurrected the Dark Lord, and the fact that Avon was actually the hero that vanquished the Dark Lord. So basically, I wasted my time explaining characters that probably would have been explained either way, but either way, that's a bit my fault. I should have waited a little longer till things were explained, but hey, lesson learned. Anyway, as I said before, back to the music. As for the music, it's hard for me to explain, especially this early on in the series, but I really can't specifically name a theme I like. And that could be the fault that it's still early on, so there's probably not much to comment about until more music is available. But I have to say that the opening is nice, but the minute it ends, you kind of forget about it. So it goes in one ear and out the other, and we'll probably never pay attention to again until it plays again in the next episode. So yeah, I overall think the music is fine, but it's so bland that I couldn't remember a single track, and doesn't help the ending is also forgettable after you watch it. So yeah, music-wise, it's kind of flat on that part. And finally, the animation. At least, I gotta say this, it's at least colorful, and I have been watching a few bland things lately, so a few colorful things is nice. And Dai does have great animation color. At least it doesn't look brown or gray or whatever dull color you can imagine. It at least has personality to it, and it has helped that the effects on a lot of the magical attacks are pretty good. It's very CGI-ish, but it doesn't clash with the animation, so at least I could say it does work the CGI and the animation pretty well. Normally you see a clash in them, but I think it's CGI, but I have no clue. It looks like CGI to me, but I could be wrong. Leave a comment down if it's CGI or not. I couldn't tell the difference. Maybe that's a good thing. But like I said, the animation is a top notch. I think this is definitely one of Toei's better works. Dragon Ball. Sorry, bad throat. And yeah, I feel like it's a decent job, and I can't really find much to complain, which is such a shame. Otherwise, I would be talking more about it. But hey, my closing thoughts on this series are relatively positive. So, is Dragon Quest: The Great Adventure of Dai worth watching? As of recording this, yes, but be warned, it is very generic. But I'd rather take this sort of thing over an isekai, because at least here, it doesn't feel like the characters are just OP from the start, because, hey, it's entertaining to watch a relatable character becoming the underdog to become a great hero, instead of just basically being overpowered and just getting things done like this. I cannot snap with my glove on. No. But again, I just like it because it's not an isekai, and in my book, that is currently a positive theme, because I've watched bland isekai after bland isekai, and I'm getting tired of the genre. So a fantasy like this is a refreshing take. Yeah, that's how much I've been desperate for a good old fantasy anime like this. That I actually say that it being a generic fantasy actually gives it some good pedigree. Oh god, I really need to start watching other genres besides fantasies, because I've been fantasized overload. But that's a problem for this hunter. Anyway, thank you for watching this First Impressions. Let me know if you think it was well for First Impressions, or would you like to see more of it, because I may do these for other series I've been watching. And please like, subscribe, follow me on my Twitter. Discord's down below if you want to talk to me because I'm very much often on that server and I love to chat with people as it gets me feedback and I like talking to people. So it's always a nice chance of meeting new people. So anyway, as I say, my fellow hunters, make a good blood guide your way.